Hey guys, it's Dr. Sam. Today's question is, how do I know if I have low testosterone? Right? What are the symptoms? I get asked, and if I do have low T, what are the best ways to fix it? So this is going to be a multi-part video, and I've done other videos about this, but today's topic is mainly going to be, how do you know if you have low testosterone? Well, the first thing ideally would be you would get a full blood test. And the blood test can't just be testosterone levels, which is what normal doctors will do. They'll just do a generic testosterone. What you should do is total and free testosterone levels, see where your sex hormone binding globulins are. And I've done a video about blood tests in the past. Additionally, you want to see where your other hormones, such as estrogen, estradiol is, or your DHT, dihydrotestosterone levels are. Those are the two main ones, because testosterone can convert to estrogens, estradiol, and through aromatase enzymes, and it can also convert to DHT through 5-alpha reductase. So DHT is dihydrotestosterone, is more related to prostate problems, hair loss, and body hair growth. And estrogen is more connected to, obviously, man boobs, gynecomastia, body fat, being moodiness, having moodiness, being a little bit more depressed, sensitive, and all that kind of stuff, right? So obviously the blood test would be good. Now I'll tell you this true story about myself. I was probably 19. I was like super into this stuff. I did a full blood test, and the doctor at that time, he's like, why do you need it? You're only 19. Why are you asking for all this stuff? This stuff's going to be expensive. I'm like, well, I want to know. So I forced it. I got the blood test. I was fully excited, and it was a mess. All right, my testosterone was low normal. It was still normal, right? And I think it was like 350 nanograms per deciliter, right? So the range is like, let's say in America it's 300 to 950 or 1,000. Let's just keep it simple, 300 to 1,000. Mine was like 300 something, and I'm like 19. And then my estrogen is like high normal. DHT is high normal. And I'm like, this is horrible. I'm 19. It's only going to get worse. And he says, no, it's fine. It's normal. And I said, yeah, but it's not optimal. And I remember telling him, like, hey, making like $30,000 or $40,000 a year, that's normal. But you're probably making a couple $100,000 a year. That's optimal. And he just laughed it off. He's like, you're young. Don't worry about it. You're overthinking it. And long story short, I kept digging around, finding out, what's causing these problems. Why is my testosterone low? Why are these hormones higher? Obviously, I was 19. We didn't have access to the internet. I had to go to the medical library and look through microfiche and all this stuff that's like impossible to read, and it took hours to figure out. And I had different mentors that eventually I learned from, and took different, diet changes and supplements and herbs, and even took different medications to improve hormones and so forth, to reduce the enzymatic conversions and so forth. So about a year or two later, my testosterone was like 800. Okay, it like almost tripled, and my DHT levels were low normal, estrogen was low normal, and that was optimal. So I mentioned this because you're going to do a blood test. The doctor's probably just going to do that one test, and if it's in that range, let's say the 300 to 1,000, and yours is like 330, he's going to be like, hey, that's normal. Unless you go to an HRT clinic that just want to make money, and they're going to, don't worry about it, just take stuff, take your testosterone shots. But that's the biggest thing. You want to do the test, and you want to see where your levels are. Even if they're normal on a blood test, it doesn't mean that you're feeling normal, okay? I always like to consider how you feel being more important. Because I know guys who've got testosterone levels of like, let's say 450, and they're like super horny, they're happy, everything's good, and for them, that's great. They don't need to go higher levels. And I've known guys who have high levels and they don't feel good, and their hormones are a little bit more imbalanced. So basically, I go a lot more by feel, because that's what really counts. I mean, who cares if your levels are kind of normal low, but you feel fantastic, erections are great, you're horny, you're happy, don't touch it, it's perfect. But if you're not feeling good, then we need to improve the hormones and additional other things. So I've got a quiz about this, and I put a link that you can take. It's a short quiz, it's like 10 questions, and I'll let you know based on how the symptoms and how you feel, if you do have low T, and of course what you can do about it. So that's the main thing. And one thing to know is that no matter what age you are, you can make improvements, right? I was 19, my thing was horrible, and I made improvements. And it's been good and steady for 30 plus years, right? And I've got guys who, my cousin is like 15 years older than me. I improved his hormones. I doubled his testosterone levels, all naturally, okay? You don't have to take drugs. I don't have any issue with taking testosterone injections and all that. If you want, I can do a video about that. Let me know below about TRT and HRT. The problem with that stuff is you need a good doctor who can manipulate all of them, not just shoot you up with a bunch of stuff and overdo it. And depending on where you are naturally, you're going to convert. Some people take a little bit of testosterone, they get gynecomastia. So they reduce the aromatase enzyme. They take a aromatase inhibitor, and then now their estrogen becomes too low. Now they got joint problems and so on and so forth. Or they'll take like Propecia or something like that for their DHT levels because the testosterone increases it. Now they're having hair loss. So there's a lot to manipulate. Hormones are powerful. That's why I always suggest do it naturally first. Okay, most of us are not living a good lifestyle. Most of us are not taking enough, we're not eating well, so we're not getting enough nutrients. We're not getting certain vitamins and minerals. We're not sleeping well. Stress levels are high if you're working out too much or you're not sleeping enough. Emotional stress, money stress, all these things. Cortisol levels go up, testosterone comes down, and that makes you more apathetic about life, and obviously kills your sex drive and everything else by lowering your testosterone levels. So the point is, how do you know you have these symptoms? How do you know if you have low T? What can you do? I've got a quiz. It's a free quiz. You can take it. I put the link underneath this video. But more importantly, the sooner you take action, the better. Because trust me, as you get older, things only get worse. So the sooner you can take action to prove it, you get faster results, and you have to be patient with it. All right. So don't ever give up, regardless of your age. I know even a lot of young guys these days have low T, low testosterone problems because of just society and food and our lifestyle, let alone the older guys who have it. And here's the other thing. When you improve your testosterone levels and additional other hormones, okay, your emotions are better. Your body fat's better. Obviously, your sex drive, erections are better. Your sleep is better. And I think for me, the biggest importance is your mood is better. You're just happier about life. You're not as apathetic about life. You're not as sad. You don't feel depressed. Things aren't so negative. And that's one of the biggest things. I tell people testosterone is probably the greatest antidepressant ever for men and women, okay? So keep that in mind. Take the quiz underneath. Let me know what questions you have about today's topic, things if you want me to dig deeper about it, whether it's specific symptoms, what you can do. Again, I've gotten additional videos and that quiz that I just made up recently that you guys can take. You know where you are, how to fix it, solutions, do it naturally. The sooner you start, the better. So take action. Don't just listen. Take action. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I wish you a very happy and healthy day.